Welcome all of you to my channel of Agricultural Economics. Myself, Dr. Rede GD. Today we will see about in detail cost of cultivation for all the seasonal crops. So, before going to cost of cultivation, we must know different cost concepts. Means basically there are three costs, that is cost A, cost B and cost C. So, we have to see what is cost A. So, cost A include hired human labor. It may be male labor or female labor. So, we have to calculate hired human labor from the operation sheet data, that is total hired human labor. It may be male or female. Then second one is total bullock labor. So, it may be owned and hire. You can write here owned and hire bullock labor. You have to write. Then third one is total machine labor. It may be owned and hired machine labor. Then fourth one, most important, is seed, cost of seed. Then cost of manure, it may be FYM or any compost. In case of FYM, it may be in tons, quintals. It may be in tons or quintals or in the cart loads Then next is, that is sixth item of cost A is fertilizer. So here we have to take the cost of nitrogenous fertilizer. It may be your urea, then phosphorus, it may be your DAP, then potassium, it may be your muriate of potash, then some micronutrients also. So you have to take the cost of the fertilizers in a nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium or micronutrient. Then next is seventh item of cost A is irrigation charges. Now most important question is how to calculate irrigation charges. So while calculating irrigation charges, you have to take into account that the electricity charges required to irrigate that particular area. What we have to calculate, what we have to consider, the electricity charges required to irrigate that particular area. It may be your irrigation charges. So you can calculate it per hectare. Then next is insecticides and fungicides, means agrochemicals which are required, or the plant protection chemicals which are required for control of the pest and diseases. It may be in kg or liter also. Okay. The next is land revenue cesses and other taxes. So what is land revenue? In Marathi it is known as the Shet Sara. It is fixed by Department of Agriculture. So it is different for different areas. Land revenue cesses and other taxes, they are the different. These are the public revenue. Okay. So these are different for different areas. It depends on the gut number, type of soil, type of crop also. So these are the different for different areas. Then next is depreciation, most important. Now how to consider or how to calculate the depreciation? So simply there are 4-5 methods of calculation of depreciation. In that, in agriculture, mostly the straight line method is used for calculating the depreciation. So by this method you have to take 10% value of farm implements, machineries, okay, as a depreciation. You have to take the 10% value of farm machineries and implements. Then next is expenses on acquisition of inputs and some miscellaneous charges, means the charges which are required to bring the inputs from the market to the farmer's field. It may be your acquisition charges or some miscellaneous charges, may be your repairing charges, etc. So these are the extra or other charges you have to consider in cost A. And last but most important particular or item of cost A is interest on working capital. Now how to calculate interest on working capital? So What is working capital? The working capital, the capital which changes according to time, that is a working capital. So working capital includes hired human labor, total bullock labor, total machine labor, seeds, manures, fertilizer, irrigation charges, insecticide, land revenue, depreciation and acquisition. Means all these 11 items, they comes under the working capital. Now we have to calculate the interest on working capital. So we have to calculate interest on working capital at the rate of 6%, 7%, at the rate of 4, 5, 6 or 7%. Why? Because if you go to purchase this working capital, you must take the short term loans, and interest rate of short term loan is up to 6-7%. So, and duration of crop is also seasonal for 6 months. That's why interest on working capital we have to calculate at the rate of 6% or 7%. So you have to make the summation of all the 11 items, then you have to calculate the 6% interest rate on working capital. So summation of all these 12 items, it is a cost A. Okay. Now second is cost B. What is cost B? So in a cost B, cost A plus rental value of land plus interest on fixed capital. What is cost B? So cost B is cost A plus rental value of land plus interest on fixed capital. So how to calculate rental value of land? How to calculate rental value of land? The formula for calculating rental value of land is 1/6 of gross produce minus land revenue. 1/6 of gross produce minus land revenue. So what is gross produce? Gross produce is main produce plus by-produce. What is gross produce? Value of main produce plus value of by-produce is equal to the gross produce. So in a rental value of land, we have to take 1/6 value of gross produce minus land revenue. It will be your rental value of land. Then we have to calculate the interest on fixed capital. Now how to calculate interest on fixed capital? Here rental value of land, or land is the only one fixed capital. So here we are not taking directly value of land, we are taking the rental value of land. So we will calculate interest on fixed capital, means at the rate of 12%. So why 12%? If you have to purchase a land, or if you have to reconstruct or develop a land, we must take the term loans, and the duration of these loans is 2 to 5 months or more than that, 2 to 5 years or more than that. So interest rate may be vary from 12%, 14% or up to 15-16% also. So here we are considering the interest rate on fixed capital at the rate 12%. So we have to take the value of 12% value of rental value of land, because land is the only one fixed capital here. So we have to take 12% value of rental value of land. So then summation of cost A plus rental value of land plus interest on fixed capital, it is your cost B. Now what is cost C? Cost C is otherwise called as the total cost or total cost of cultivation, because it is calculated cost per hectare. Cost C is a total cost. So formula for cost C is cost B plus imputed value of family labor. Some farmers, some small or marginal farmers or some medium farmers also, they are using their own family member. So we have to consider their wage rate into cost C. So cost B plus imputed value of family labor, it may be male or female. So summation of all these means total cost is the cost C. Now how to calculate gross return? Value of main produce plus value of byproduce, it will be your gross returns. Okay. Then next is BC ratio. How to calculate BC ratio? Gross returns or total returns divided by total cost, it will give you the benefit cost ratio. Now what is cost of production and what is cost of cultivation? So cost of cultivation is cost per hectare or cost per area, per unit area. It may be cost per hectare or cost per acre. It is cost of cultivation. And what is cost of production? So cost of production is cost per quintal of produce, that is cost of production. So how to calculate cost of production? Cost per quintal is equal to total cost divided by total output. So it will give you for production of 1 quintal how much cost required or how much cost incurred. Okay. Then rental value of land, as I earlier said, 1/6 of gross produce minus land revenue. Then how to calculate productivity? So total yield divided by area. Now we will see the actual calculation of cost of cultivation. How to calculate cost of cultivation for 1 hectare of soybean. It is a hypothetical example. Don't write as it is. It is only hypothetical or imaginary example of 1 hectare of soybean. Okay. So while calculating cost of cultivation, we have to arrange data in a tabular form. So now first is particulars, unit, quantity used, then rate of that particular input, and last one is total cost. Quantity used per unit. Okay. So first serial number is hired human labor in of male. Hired human labor male, their unit is days. Now from our operation sheet we have to make a summation of all the male hired human labor male, and you have to write here in quantity used, that is 13. It is a hypothetical example. For 13 male required for 13 hired male required for the cultivation of 1 hectare of soybean. So 13 into wage rate of male labor is 250 rupees per day. 250 rupees per day. 13 into 250 is equal to 3,250 rupees. It is a total cost. Then second, hired human labor female in days, it is 34. What is wage rate of female? 150. So it accounts for 5,100 rupees in a total cost. Now next is bullock labor. So you have to again make a summation of bullock labor from your operation sheet in a pair days. In case of human labor, it is only days. Human labor days is considered as 8 hours, means 1 human labor day. So in a bullock labor, it is a pair days. For cultivation of 1 hectare of soybean, the farmer has required 3 pairs of bullock labor. So rate is 750 per bullock labor. So the rate may be vary from area to area, from crop to crop. Okay. So because bullock labor rates, they are charged based on acreage also, based on area also, means bullock pair labor per acre for ploughing is different, per acre for harrowing is different, per acre for sowing is different. I have considered here just average. So you can calculate accordingly. So bullock labor in a pair days 3 required into 750, it may be your 2,250. Now next is most important, machine charges. Now how to consider the machine charges? So in a like bullock labor, machine charges also varies for different operations. Machine charges for plowing are different, means tractor, mostly tractor. Machine charges for harvesting are different, machine charges for threshing are different. Here we have to calculate the per hour, we have to take the per hour machine charges. So here approximately or average I have taken the 500 rupees per hour. So you can take it according to different operations also. Okay. So here I required the 12 hours, 12 and a half hour for the whole cultivation of 1 hectare soybean. So the machine charges are 6,250. Next is seed. We have to take the cost of seed according per kg cost. Okay. So for 1 hectare of soybean, that farmer required the 75 kg of seed. So the seed bag of soybean is around up to 2,700 rupees per bag of 30 kg. So I have calculated the per kg cost of soybean seed. So it is 90 rupees. So I have written the rate 90. The total cost for 75 kg of soybean seed is 6,750. Now next is manures. It may be FYM. So we have to calculate per FYM in a tons. For 1 hectare of soybean, I required 2.5 tons FYM. So 2.5 into 5,000 rupees. The rate of FYM is up to 5,600 now, 6,000 now. So I required 12,500 rupees cost for FYM, 2.5 tons of FYM. It may be in quintals or it may be in cart loads also. The rates are different. Okay, you have to just multiply the quantity into rates, you will get the total cost. Okay. Now next is fertilizers. Most important, the recommended fertilizer dose for soybean is 25, 60 and 40. The recommended dose and actual dose given by farmer is different. Now if I have to give the 25 kg nitrogen, so I have to apply the urea. I have choose the urea as a nitrogenous fertilizer. Then to give the 25 kg of nitrogen, I have to apply the up to 90 kg of urea. So you can calculate, because in urea nitrogen percentage of nitrogen is 46%. Likewise we have to calculate for phosphorus and potassium also. For phosphorus I have used the DAP, diammonium phosphorus, that is 300 kg DAP required to give the 60 kg of phosphorus. Then 100 kg of muriate of potash required to give the 40 kg of potassium. So their cost I have calculated according to per bag cost. So these are the for urea 500 urea bag is of for 265 rupees per bag. According to per kg rate of urea is 5.88. Then per kg rate of DAP is 24 and per kg rate of muriate of potash is 17. Okay. Then next is micronutrient. So if some farmers they are giving micronutrient in a kg, in a granular form or in a liquid form, you have to take the value of micronutrients here as a cost of fertilizer. Then irrigation charges. As I have earlier said, how to calculate irrigation charges? We have to take the electricity bill required to irrigate that particular area for 2 times, 3 times or 4 times in that particular growing season. According to, you have to calculate the irrigation charges. I have taken here irrigation charges 315 rupees. Next is insecticide, fungicides, that is plant protection chemicals. I required 8 liters for 1 hectare of soybean. Then their rate I have not mentioned, because for different fungicide, for different insecticide there are the different rates. So I have mentioned direct the total cost. For insecticide it is 890 rupees. Then land revenue, cesses and taxes, it is 130. I have taken from Talati office. This information about the land revenue or Shet Sara from the Talati office, it is 130 rupees. Then depreciation on implements and farm building. I have taken here depreciation at the rate 10% value of farm implements and farm building. So it is 1250. Okay. How to calculate depreciation? We have to take the 10% value of farm implements and farm machineries. So I have taken here 1250 rupees. Next is expenses on acquisition of inputs and miscellaneous charges. I have taken here 300 rupees as expenses on acquisition of inputs, means bringing the inputs from market to the farmer's field, and some repairing charges also there. It is total miscellaneous charges are 300 rupees. Then most important, interest on working capital at the rate 6%, because all these are the variable cost or which are changing according to season, which are changing according to crop also or according to period also. That's why they are the working capital. So I have considered here interest on working capital at the rate 6%. So you have to just make the summation. We have to make the summation of 1 to 11 item, and we have to calculate the 6% value. So it is 2904 rupees. You have to make the summation of 1 to 11 and you have to calculate the 6% of that summation. It will give you interest on working capital. Then summation of all the 1 to 12 item, then summation of all the 1 to 12 item, it will be your cost A. So here my cost A is 51,319. Do you got? Okay. So now we are moving to cost B and cost C. Final. Now as we all know, cost A is 51,319. Now we have to calculate the rental value of land. The formula for calculating the rental value of land is 1/6 of gross produce. What is formula for calculating rental value of land? Is 1/6 of gross produce minus land revenue. So our gross produce is your main quantity. In yield column you can see our main produce is 46 quintals and by produce is 5.5 quintal. So value of main produce at the rate 3,500 rupees per quintal is 1,61,000 plus the value of by produce is 2,200. So total return, that is total gross return, is our 1,63,200. So we have to take the 1/6 value of 1,63,200 minus land revenue is 130 rupees. So our rental value of land is 27,070. Okay. So how to calculate rental value of land? 1/6 of gross produce minus land revenue. It will be your rental value of land. So here 1,63,200, 1/6 value of that minus land revenue, that is 130 rupees. So here my rental value of land is 27,070. Now we have to take the interest on fixed capital. So here the fixed capital is land. Here we have taken the rental value of land. Then we have to calculate the interest on fixed capital, means 12% of rental value of land, it will be your interest on fixed capital. If you calculate the 12% of 27,070, it will be your 3,264. So this is about the cost B. Now we have to make the summation of cost A, that is 51,319 plus rental value of land plus interest on fixed capital. So it will be your cost B, that is 81,653. Okay, so this is about cost A and cost B. Now most important is last cost C, that is total cost. Cost C is total cost. So formula for calculating total cost is cost C. Cost C is equal to cost B plus imputed value of family labor. So here we have taken the value of family labor male in 4 males at the rate 250 rupees wage rate, so it is 1000, and 7 females at the rate 150 rupees per day, so here 1050. So our total cost C is cost B plus 1000 plus 1050, so it will be your 83,703. We have to just make summation of cost B plus value of family labor, okay, or cost of family labor, male plus female. Now cost C, now we have to calculate the supervision charges at the rate 10% of cost C. So this is about cost A, cost B, cost C. Now see, in the yield column, while calculating rental value of land, we have to calculate the gross return. So main quantity, we have to mention the main yield or main produce, that is 46 quintal, and by produce is 5.50 quintal. So there is no any particular formula to calculate the by produce. Keep in mind, mostly students of RAWE 7 semester students, they are calculating by produce by different formulas. So there is no formula for calculating the by produce. So by produce is, it is the same produce, it is the output of same harvesting. So it may be, in a case of soybean, it may be soybean husk, okay, it is a byproduce of that harvesting process. In a soybean, it is a soybean husk, okay. So there is no any formula for calculating the byproduce. So while calculating rental value of land, we have to take the 1/6 value of gross produce, means byproduce, value of byproduce, value of main produce plus value of byproduce, it will be your total gross produce. Now how to calculate BC ratio? Total returns divided by total cost is equal to your BC ratio. So here my total returns is 1,63,200 divided by total cost is 83,703. So my BC ratio is 1:1.94, means if I am investing 1 rupees, I will get the 1.9 rupees. Now net profit or net returns. What is formula for calculating net profit or net returns? Is equal to total returns minus total cost. Here my total return is 1,63,200 minus my total cost is 83,703. So my net profit is 79,000, means up to 80,000 from the cultivation of 1 hectare of soybean, okay. Now cost of production, as we have earlier discussed how to calculate cost of production. So cost of cultivation means cost required, cost per hectare or cost per acre, it is a cost of cultivation, and cost of production means cost per quintal of produce. So total cost minus divided by total output, it will be your cost of production or cost per quintal. Here my cost per quintal is 1,625 rupees per quintal. So this is an hypothetical example or imaginary example for while calculating the cost of cultivation. If your area is in acres, suppose 1 acre, your area is 1 acre, you can calculate similarly and convert it into the hectares, means the value of 1 acre into 2.46 or 2.5, it will give you the per hectare cost of cultivation, means we have to just multiply that value with 2.5 acre into hectare, it will give you the per hectare cost of cultivation. So kindly subscribe, share and like my channel. If you have any queries, you can comment also. Thank you.